So if I had to pinpoint one single factor that attributed to the fastest growth for me as a songwriter and producer, it would definitely be active listening. However, the way that most people teach it is, well, downright boring. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of value with listening to a reference song, analyzing every single detail, and figuring out as much as you can about the song. I actually encourage it, but I don't think that that's something you need to do over and over again with your notepad and pen, writing out every single detail. At least, not if you're anything like me. I actually learn the best by doing. So what's the remedy for that if you want to do active listening? Because everyone says do active listening. Well, active copying, right? So here was my process. First, I would hear a song I really like, or a song that my teenage daughter just wouldn't stop singing, and constantly think, what makes this so great? Second, I listen to it a couple times, see what stands out, what's the structure of the song, what's changing throughout the different sections, what's the hook, what are the main instruments or the sounds? I mean, the things that active listening teaches you. Now, this is the extent of traditional active listening that I do. But third, for a song that it really stands out, I'll copy it. And what I mean there is I'll open up Logic, I'll recreate the song the best I can, not to release or share, just to put myself in the shoes of the original producer. I think this is the key. This is what makes you better. It's practicing with a purpose, because you'll definitely come across a sound or a technique that you have no idea how to replicate. That will drive you to research and learn how to do that specific thing. So now instead of watching tutorial after tutorial, producer after producer, all explaining different random topics or things you can do as a producer, you're learning a specific skill or a technique that makes yourself better. Let me show you what I mean. Let's take Olivia Rodrigo's song, Driver's License. Now, I wanted to see what made this song so catchy. It wasn't until I recreated the song in my DAW that I realized how simple it was. Seriously, super simple. I still don't fully get why it was an overnight success, but there were two things in that song that I didn't know how to do. This noise sweep effect, and then this tape slow down effect. So in the spirit of sharing what I learned, let's jump into Logic real quick and learn how you can replicate these things as well.
Now, to create the noise sweep effect, it's a stock Logic instrument. You go down to the ESP Polyphonic Synth, open that up. Now, I think the easiest thing to do is just show you the settings I have here, and the only thing we're going to automate is this frequency here. So if I just play a note, you just kind of get that white noise sound, but listen as I increase the frequency. So that is exactly how we're going to recreate that effect. We're just going to automate that frequency. So if we go in the edit window here, you'll see that I'm just playing an A note through there. But if we open up the automate window, you'll see that I have automated the ESP cutoff. And I go from a little over 18% automated up to 80%. Last thing I did is I threw some EQ on it. I wanted to roll off the low end. I didn't really want to hear any of that. And I wanted to just give it a little bit more air and just make it much more noticeable in those higher frequencies. Here it is without the EQ. And then with the EQ. You can see it just adds a little bit more presence up in the upper frequencies, and that's exactly what I wanted. Now let's take a look at this tape slowdown effect. So here's just that bass synth. It's just a stock Alchemy sound, bright sky. You can see all the settings that I used there. And now I played a B flat chord. So we'll go ahead and record that. Now the key to get this for the tape slowdown effect is I want to bounce that out. So I'll press Control B just to bounce out this one track. And then I do want to bypass any effects or plugins. So now I have that bounced out track. I'm going to go ahead and add a fade for half the measure here. Now if I don't do anything with that, it's just going to lower the volume. But if I right click this fade and instead I click slow down, that's all we have to do to get that slowdown effect. Now I want that to speed up a little bit more towards the end. So this is a nice level curve here. So If I go to the end here, I can change where the fade out is, but you'll see the cursor will change when I just move down a little bit. And now I can just make that to where it's a little slower, then it speeds up.
Look, if I hadn't taken the time to replicate this song fully, I would have never gained the skill of using those two effects. So the next time you find yourself uncontrollably singing and humming a song, just try to recreate it. I'm sure there's something in there that will make you better as a producer. But until next time, I'm Phil. Keep creating music.